everybody, I'm Yvonne from Step by Step Farming, and on this channel we try to help those that are seeking to be self-sustainable and to try to have more control over your life. Now this video is a different kind of video, and the reason being is because it is a warning that I'm trying to shout out to everyone of what's about to happen. So in 5 more days, on August the 5th, Amazon is going to officially ban all Mylar bags. Now this video is for those of you all who may not really understand what the significance of that is, and also for those of you all who may not be taking things seriously just yet with the whole food preparation and things like that. So look guys, we are living in a very unstable and perilous times, and now is not the time to get relaxed and to slack off when things are kind of what we consider getting back to normal. All right, so we have to make sure that we are staying focused and that we are just really thinking about the sustainability and the preparation for our families. So Amazon is going to be banning Mylar bags on or after August 5th. So if you're trying to find them on Amazon, you will not be able to find them anymore. So first of all, let me explain to you what a Mylar bag is, and then I will show you. I've got some Mylar bags here. I'll explain to you what they are, the purpose of them. I'll show you some of the examples that I have, and what is the big deal Amazon is banning these bags. Okay, so number one, a Mylar bag. This is a Mylar bag here. Okay, I have 2 different sizes. I have a 1 gallon bag, and it looks like this. It's just a very shiny bag. Both sides are covered, and it has a ziploc on the inside. You can store food in these. This is a 1 gallon size, and I'll show you. I have a 5 gallon size, and I'll show you all the difference. So I'm not sure if you all can see the sizes. This is a 5 gallon, and this is a 1 gallon. So it is a significant size difference of what these are. All right, and I'll show you you're going to want to have an oxygen absorber to go with that. I'll explain a little bit of that later, but I wanted to show you all what it is. So they are banning the Mylar bags that are covered on both sides. They're not banning the Mylar bags that have the face that's open. This is shiny on one side, but the other side is open. So like this is an example of, I sell freeze-dried candy and freeze-dried fruits and freeze-dried vegetables, okay? Because we have a freeze dryer. And for those of y'all who don't know what a freeze dryer is, you can check out my other video. I'll put a link up at the top and you can click on that. But basically a freeze dryer is where you can freeze dry your food and preserve it and keep it for 25 years, keeps the same nutritional value, looks exactly the same, and it's still good, okay? But this is the type of bag that you can put these types of things in. When you are storing your food in a Mylar bag, you do not want any clear side at all. All right, so these bags are not banned. These bags are, and I'm going to tell you what's going on. So these Mylar bags here they are made of several layers of food grade plastic and aluminum, and they keep out moisture, light, and oxygen. Those are 3 of the main things that will totally destroy your food. If you've done all this stocking up and they're exposed to light, any moisture gets a hold of it, or any oxygen will destroy food, then it's done. There's no point of even having it. Now pests, that's another thing. Pests can destroy, your food, but even if you put in a Mylar bag, you still want to put it in a container, like maybe a tote or a bucket or something like that. But oxygen, light, and moisture are your 3 enemies of food going rancid and going bad, okay? These Mylar bags keep your food preserved, and it will not allow moisture or any of that stuff in here. Now, you can store food such as your beans, rice, grains, oatmeal, flour, any dry foods you can put in there. You could put freeze-dried food in there. That's fine. You can do that. But the whole purpose is to store and keep your food fresh and preserved. That's the whole purpose of being self-sustainable and having more control. So I'm going to read you an article that I've got pulled up on my computer here. And it says, Amazon mysteriously bans Mylar bags. Amazon has told its third-party sellers to stop selling bags made of substance called Mylar and cited regulatory requirements as the reason for its decision. The company specified that all Mylar bags that are not clear or single colored must be removed from the Amazon store by August 5th, 2022. Amazon provided a link in its message which directed sellers to information concerning drugs and controlled substances. It is likely that the bags have been used by customers for their smell-proof qualities. So in a nutshell, what it's saying is Amazon says, we're going to ban these bags from our store because we believe, or I don't even think they have proof of this, but this is just what they're saying, that you could put paraphernalia, you could put drugs in a Mylar bag, and a drug dog cannot sniff and see that there is paraphernalia in here. So this is going to keep people who are selling drugs or shipping drugs from using these bags. Okay, so that's basically in a nutshell what they're saying. Now, in the comments below on this, someone says, I was kind of looking at the comments, and this says, great tactic to prevent people from preserving food. Unfortunately, that's the real reason and why this won't be on mainstream news. I've never heard this on the mainstream news at all. Matter of fact, it just so happened that some friends of ours were together and we were talking about all this. And my husband got online and looked up on YouTube, and we start seeing these people putting out videos that Amazon is banning their bags in 5 days. Okay. So basically that is the tactic of what they're saying, of what's going on, why they're banning their bags. Now, what's the big deal? Because once again, I said these bags are going to help you to preserve your food longer and that it remains fresh. And let me give you an example. It would be like Amazon or some large place saying, we are no longer going to sell canning jars. Okay, so let's think about this. What is the whole purpose of a canning jar? Canning jar is for those of us who can or want to preserve our food for long term, like 5 years or so, that we can use these canning jars and we can preserve our food and set them to the side, so then when times get rough and there's hardly any food on the grocery shelves and it's hard to buy anything or the prices have gone up, that we can pull from our shelves and we can have something for our families to eat and to survive when the times are tough. Okay, but if there's no canning jars around, then it makes it a little harder for you to be able to do that, right? So that's just another example of the Mylar bags. So let me give you another example. Back in 2020, when the world was in a craze, I waited until the last minute. So at the last minute, I started looking for canning jars. Couldn't find any on the shelf. They were gone, because everybody had been knowing things were about to happen and snatched them up. But for me, I waited till the last minute and I couldn't find any. So also, I couldn't find any deep freezers. We said, hey, we need to buy a deep freezer. Let's get a deep freezer so at least we can freeze our food. Couldn't find any deep freezers. No one was selling deep freezers. Guys, the same thing is going to happen, I believe, with the Mylar bags. Okay? Now, you have to think about the supply and demand. If the supply is low, the demand is high. All right? So what's going to happen to all the people who are demanding all this particular product, but the supply is low? Well, I'm going to read to you another article that I got. Okay, so this is from packfreshusa.com. Now, I bought also, let me see, I'll show you. I bought oxygen absorbers from them, and I'll explain later again what oxygen absorber is. But I bought oxygen absorbers from them, and they're a really good place to go to if you wanted to, go buy some things like that. But this is what they have on their website. It says, we have been receiving an increased number of concern regarding Amazon's upcoming Mylar bag policy. Due to regulatory requirements, all Mylar bags. Okay, so basically they're repeating what Amazon said. They put the article on there about the whole paraphernalia with drugs thing. They're going to stop selling it. But then they have, we would like to let our customers and followers know that there is no need to be worried or a need stock up on Mylar bags. Amazon's new Mylar policy does not apply to our products. Single color bags are still allowed, and we will continue to manufacture and sell them. We do not have plans to discontinue any of our Mylar bags. Okay, so this company is saying that even though Amazon is banning their Mylar bags, this company will still be selling it. There's no need for you to worry. That there's no need for you to stock up on your bags. This is what they're saying. Now let's think about how this works in the real world. That sounds really awesome and great, but let's think about this. I've got some numbers here. Amazon is if not the largest retailer store online in the world. It has 157.4 million Amazon Prime users just in the US alone. It ships 66,000 orders a day. So let's think about this. You have all these people who would normally buy their Mylar bags on Amazon, okay? But now Amazon doesn't have it anymore. So even if you took a small percentage, 10%, 5%, even 3% of 157.4 million people that might be considering buying Mylar bags, how can you really realistically say that there's no need to stock up on these, that our prices are not going to change, we're always going to have them in high supply? I just don't see that happening. That normally never ever happens. If you have a flood of people that leaves Amazon and goes to your store, you can't keep up with the demand. The supply will be low, so that means that the prices more than likely are going to go up. You're not going to get them for the same price that you're getting them now, if they do have them. If they don't have them, you have to wait because they'll be out of stock. And like I said, the demand is going to be high. I'm just trying to get you all to see, don't do the same thing I did when I was looking for canning jars in a deep freezer and there was none there. Okay, so let me just say a couple other things real quick. When you buy Mylar bags, while they're still available on Amazon, you want to get the 5 to 7 mil thickness. That's just basically talking about the thickness of the bag, okay? 5 to 7 is what you want to get. I suggest you get the ziploc bag style. They have some that does not have the ziploc bag, and they're a little bit cheaper. But the reason why I get the ziploc bag is once I rip this open, and if I don't use everything in this bag, I can still seal it up with no problem, okay? It's better to get the ziploc bag, my personal opinion with that. You also want to get oxygen absorbers. For the Mylar bag, the oxygen absorbers helps do exactly what it says, which is to absorb the majority of the oxygen that's going to be inside this bag. Once again, let's not forget, moisture, light, and oxygen will destroy your food. So you're going to want to get some oxygen absorbers to go along with your Mylar bags. Now, just a rule of thumb is you want to get this right here is an oxygen absorber. This is like between, you can get, they have different sizes. You want to get between a 300 to a 600 cc. Okay. You also see this little dot, and they come sealed in a bag. And the little dot, as long as it's not purple or a dark color, means that oxygen is not inside this bag at all. So these are good to use. Also, as long as the oxygen absorber is like kind of when you take it out of the bag, and if it's like kind of a flimsy, that's good. That's fine. But basically, this is a 300 to 600 cc. For a larger bag, like the 5-gallon bag that I showed you earlier, you're going to want something a lot bigger. Okay, this is, you're going to want to get a 2,000 to a 3,000 cc size oxygen absorber. Obviously, the smaller the bag, the smaller the oxygen absorber, the bigger the bag. You're going to need more oxygen absorber to absorb more oxygen in the bag. Once again, it's going to have a little dot on it, and as long as it's not a purple or a dark color, it's good to go. All right. So that's really the purpose of why you want to have an oxygen absorber. And I'll do another video just trying to do a more in-depth as far as the Mylar bags, how to use it, how to store your food and things like that in it. But I highly, strongly suggest you guys, please look into getting these Mylar bags before they go off of Amazon. Okay? If you cannot afford them right now, understood. I got you, okay? In the same boat. What you could possibly do is one of two things. You can go to Amazon. You can look to see who the vendor is that is selling these Mylar bags. Write them down and try to see one after the 5th. If you can track them to maybe see if you can get in contact with them and purchase them off of Amazon. You can do that, I think. I'm not for sure, but I think you probably could do that. The second thing is that if you cannot afford them on your own, maybe you can go in half with someone else that you know that may be wanting to do the same thing. Instead of paying the full amount, you'd only pay half, split the bags, and there you go. Anything is better than nothing. All right. The other thing is, I bought, like, I've got some of these bags, but once I heard about this, I said I'm going to stock up a little bit more. So I'm always trying to find a really good deal and pay as less as possible than I have to pay. So for example, I was able to find 75 1-gallon bags with the ziploc style, and the oxygen absorbers came with it for about $45. That's 75 bags. I was also able to find about 25 5-gallon bags, and they also came with oxygen absorbers, so I didn't have to buy them separate, and they were $60. So I basically got 100 bags for roughly $105. So that comes up, guys, to about $1 a bag. Now, spending $1 a bag to preserve your food, make sure that it's fresh, making sure that, you know, you have what you need for your family when things are not on the shelf like you had thought they would be, is well worth $1 a bag, in my opinion. Last thing, guys, like I said, I just feel very passionate. I feel like you guys, things are going to be changing. This is not fear placed upon people, but sometimes fear can motivate us to do things that we would not normally do. If this motivates you, that's my intent. I want to motivate you to do something so that we can all be able to have what we need when things are rougher than what we've ever been used to. You can't say after this video that you didn't know, and you can't say after this video that I never told you. Okay, so my thing is, I love everybody out there. Y'all, I appreciate everyone that tunes in, that supports this channel. I try to do my best when I find things out to put them to you all so that you have what you need, the tools on hand to do what you need to do. So I just felt I just really felt like I needed to put this out there and share my heart with you all, that I would strongly suggest you doing what you're able, if you're able to do it, to do something. Like I said, if you can't do it now, maybe you can get the name of the vendor, or maybe go in with some other people and just go in half and just share and divvy it out. Okay. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. If you have any questions or any suggestions, any concerns, please put them in the comments. I read every comment that I get, and I try to answer every comment that has a question. Okay. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Bye.